Homo sapiens is I have only two lessons. One of them is that Homo sapiens is hugely tilted to wanting good news, a desperate preference for good news over bad news. Why not? I get that. And the other is they have no interest at all in the future. They extrapolate today's conditions forever. So if you're sitting there in 1929 and the data looks good and you're growing at 7% annualized GDP, what the hell have you got to worry about? We never anticipate anything. Just step back and look at the data. Does it look good? Does the future look good? And don't be conned into being super optimistic by the professionals, by the industry that makes money from overconfidence, lots and lots of money.
Whoa. This is a huge, like, bearish kind of warning. And we were just scrolling around to see where Sarah Eisen had gone. Because we haven't seen her on CNBC. She's not posting on Instagram. She doesn't have any Instagram stories. We're not blocked yet. So we're like, where's Sarah Eisen? So we do the usual welfare check. And so what do? We go on Twitter. Well, there she is, 4 hours ago. This was good. Tips for spotting bubbles and cautionary tales of optimism. Jeremy Grantham with Wilford Frost. Well, let's make sure to add our heart to that one.
Pull up.
And then what we need to do is think about what he's saying here. He's basically referring to in 1929 when the stock market is at excessive levels of enthusiasm and greed or whatever, nobody wanted to hear anything negative. People just wanted to hear positive because, as he says, humans are wired to only want to hear good news. And he's basically saying the entire financial industry, so in other words, the stock market, the suits, people, with whatever they've got going on, like, I don't know, the tokenization, securitizations or whatever, they benefit off of you believing that up is the only way. To some extent, and this isn't really this is not designed to be a slight or whatever at Michael Saylor, but to some extent, when Michael Saylor, what feels like on every single green day, posts these AI images of himself basically, doing stuff like this. Just get in, orange tie, AI image, or here's a good one. Where was it? Just get in. No, there was another one where, oh yeah. The halls of eternity echo with the circles of those who sold their Bitcoin. In other words, like, if you sell, you're going to be a crier. And I mean, here he is, I guess, AI symphony and Bitcoin major, buy the future. Like, Michael Saylor's lifestyle is funded by people believing in Bitcoin, frankly. So again, I'm not trying to slight Saylor. I'm just saying, it is true. A lot of people make money off of markets going up, because it's not just that the underlying prices are going up, it's that there's more volume. When there's more volume, market makers make more money, broker-dealers make more money, researchers make more money, analysts make more money, AI data tools around financial analysis make more money, financial advisors make more money because the AUM fees go up. Literally, everyone gets paid more to be bullish. Mind you also, if you say something, and I want you to know this about the psychology of markets, it's probably so important that it's worth writing down on something. Oh, you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna write it down. No, I was gonna write it down on this, but there's not enough white on this. Have you ever had one of these, by the way? Hashtag not sponsored, but I have these in my drawer and I refuse to open them. Man, they look good. Can't smell any of it right now, but yeah, Kinderschokolade, sehr gut. But anyway, I'm trying to train for a marathon, so and then I also have some Haribo macht Kinder froh happy hoppers in here. Yeah, I don't know why I have this stuff, but anyway, it's so important to say what I'm about to say that may as well get a nice little yellow legal pad here. Okay. All right. So if you are a bear on X, okay, so like, this could be any stock, right? Any stock, any security, or whatever. You have to understand how the algorithms work. If you are a bear on, whatever it is, Palantir, Tesla, whatever, algos feed you to that audience, right? The algo pushes you to that audience. Nobody who is invested in Palantir or Tesla wants to hear you being a bear. But the algos will feed you to those people. So you will always get sort of the hate, and there's no benefit to being a bear. Because the people who aren't going to buy Palantir or Tesla probably aren't being fed the algo for your bearish take on Palantir or Tesla, right? It's like the people who are pro Palantir or Tesla are going to be fed your Palantir comments. And if you're a bear, you just get hate. And if you're a blind bull, like you raise your price targets every day, or you're just sort of like a clown that only shills the upside because there can never be a downside and there can never be a recession again and the Fed's just going to print us out of everything, which is a total lie. But whatever. You kind of always win, because if the market goes down, it's not your fault because you shilled how great the product is. Oh, it's the product that's good. The market is just being fussy. If the stock goes up, you're a brilliant analyst. And remember, the algo is pitching you to that demographic anyway. So in other words, social media motivates the constant perpetuation of optimism and hype and hopium. And I think that's what Jeremy here is saying, Grantham is saying, in a way that can actually be amplified when you consider how algorithms work today. That bulls make money. Bears don't. But listen to the rest of this. I haven't listened to that either.
Look around for signs of crazy bubbly behavior to the moon sort of thing, which we have seen as splendidly in this last several years as we have ever seen in history, which is a high hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Just use your own brains. And if you don't want to, follow my advice and buy international stocks and keep plenty of cash.
Wow. Allocating outside of the US. I'm a big fan of Train America, mind you. But he's basically saying, hey, allocate to international markets and cash because the US is in a bubble. Which is really interesting because then when you look at this, take a look at this individual's chart. This is, I don't know, whoever this is, from i3 Invest. That's their at i3 Invest. Okay, whatever. NASDAQ 100 adjusted for M2 money supply. We are past the dot-com bubble. NASDAQ 100 adjusted for corporate profit, also past the dot-com levels. Kind of interesting. Another thing to think about is let's look at the August 1st tariff rates and compare them to the April 2nd Liberation Day tariff rates. Higher, a lot higher, a little lower, the same, a smidge lower, higher, little lower, the same, little lower, the same, little lower, little lower, little lower, the same, little lower, higher, little lower, higher, higher, the same, and then here a little lower, both of these. So you can see that these tariff rates on the right, they're not so substantially different on these countries here than what we had on Liberation Day. In fairness, what you don't see here are some of the big trading partners like Mexico and China. Although China, 55%, it's still pretty up there. So, yeah, I mean, I think Jeremy has, Grantham here has a very interesting point. But, then again, maybe markets are just designed to keep going up. After all, Eric Trump wants you to know that it feels like a great time to enter Bitcoin. And then he tweeted today, "You're welcome." And then somebody posted this chart. Good time to buy. Whee! Told ya. Pretty priceless. But anyway, so in our hunt for trying to figure out why Sarah Eisen doesn't seem to be on CNBC anymore, at least we haven't seen her in a while, it seems like. I'm sure she is, but we just haven't seen her in a bit. We find this Grantham post, and it is kind of interesting. That makes you scratch your head a little bit about bubble warning.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.